Alright, so this is not something I say every day on this channel, but good news out of Florida. So, the title of the article, Injunction Blocking Florida Law Targeting Drag Shows Applies to All Venues, Judge Says. And just from the title, I'm like, wait, that was in question? I do not understand what they were trying to do. But let's get into the article. A federal judge said Wednesday that his order blocking a Florida law targeting drag shows doesn't just apply to the restaurant that brought the lawsuit challenging it, but to other venues in the state, reiterating that the legislation championed by Governor Ron DeSantis is likely unconstitutional. Okay, I can see why Ron DeSantis would want to narrowly apply the injunction and assume it just meant to that one establishment. That certainly does not surprise me whatsoever. But at this point, I guess they have to wait till it gets to the Supreme Court or something, because why not just strike down the law? Why just issue an injunction? But anyway, a state agency that would enforce the law had asked the U.S. District Judge Gregory Presnell to put on hold his preliminary injunction stopping the law from being enforced until a trial is held to determine its constitutionality, while the state of Florida appeals the injunction. Okay, I'm assuming I just read that the state agency wanted permission to continue enforcing the law until it was discovered to be unconstitutional. Attorneys for Florida told the judge that the preliminary injunction should only apply to the Orlando restaurant that sued, seeking to get the law ruled unconstitutional, and not non-parties to the complaint. The judge rejected that argument, saying any harm to the state of Florida is minimal if the preliminary injunction remains in place, and that all Floridians are potentially parties since free speech is at stake. Plaintiff is not the only party suffering injury as a result of the passage of the act. It has a chilling effect on all members of society who fall within its reach, Presnell wrote in his order. The complaint was brought by the owner of a Hamburger Mary's restaurant and bar in Orlando. Oh yeah, I think I remember this one, which regularly hosts drag shows, including family-friendly performances on Sundays that children were invited to attend. The restaurant owner said the law was overbroad, was written vaguely, and violated First Amendment rights by chilling speech. And I'm not sure about this particular law, but there have been laws, like I think the one in Tennessee, which it's so broad, could literally get your kids into trouble for Halloween. So it's just, yeah. If it's that broad, then yeah, probably not a good thing. But this is Florida. So, yes, I'm shitting on Florida a lot. I know that a lot of the people in Florida are not this horrible, but so yeah, when I'm saying Florida, I mean Ron DeSantis and his administration. The new law punished venues for allowing children into adult live performances, though it did not mention drag shows specifically, which I'm pretty sure that exists already. You have to be a certain age to get into particular venues or particular events. So, why? The sponsor of the legislation said it was aimed at those performances. Venues that violated the law faced fines and the possibility of their liquor licenses being suspended or revoked. Individuals could be charged with a misdemeanor crime. Now, I remember once going to Florida for, I don't know if it was that we were going to Disney or what the situation was. But in Wisconsin, if you are with your parents and you are underage, they are not going to throw a fit if you drink. And I mean have a sip from your parents or something. It's not like, you're doing shots or something. In Florida, we had a waitress who my dad ordered a drink. He gave my brother a sip. And she saw it and had a fit. So obviously there are laws in place about children and alcohol. So I assume that they would also ban children from venues that provide adult entertainment as well, if they're that anal about that. So, and this was, oh my God, 30 years ago? So, I'm sorry, what? I'm pretty sure that that they had laws against children viewing adult entertainment before. So, why do they need this new law? Before announcing his candidacy for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, which is going oh so well, DeSantis made anti-LGBTQ plus legislation a large part of his agenda as governor. Other bills he signed would ban gender-affirming care for minors and restrict discussion of personal pronouns in schools. Okay. First off, his campaign is basically throwing shit at the wall, hoping something will stick, because he's desperately trying to outdo Trump, but without criticizing Trump. It's just a mess. But let's see. Gender affirming care, I believe I've done videos against that. Restrict discussion of personal pronouns in schools. Let me see. He does know that cis people have personal pronouns, right? And let's face it, there are people who are just naturally androgynous. Whether they're trying to be or not, they just are. They're the kind of people that you're like, is that a guy or a girl? And so I see nothing wrong with having to ask them, what are your pronouns? Because, that's a polite way of saying, I have no idea if you're a guy, a girl, and I don't want to be, a dick about it. So, if you can do that with cis people, I fail to see why you're restricting discussions of personal pronouns. I mean, this isn't just a trans issue. But anyway. Oh, so that is the end of the article. So, yeah, that's, so it's good that there was an injunction. I wonder which court is assigned to decide the constitutionality of that law. I believe it was the Supreme Court who ruled against the Tennessee law, so there is hope. Even if it goes to the Supreme Court, you're not destined to have the court rule against Florida. Rule against drag shows. So it's still possible that it can be ruled unconstitutional. I just don't know what court it's going to now. That article did not say which court it's going to and when the ruling is going to come down. So hopefully there'll be further updates so I can further update you on what's happening. But with that, and I'm starting to ramble, so with that, I will see you guys in the next video.